a naked, unarmed man. In front of him, thousands of enraged bees, each one carrying a venomous sting, and he's standing at the top of a tree 50 feet above the ground, hanging onto nothing but a thin vine. One slip of the hand means certain death, yet he's taking the risk. Why? Because hidden inside that beehive is something so delicious that once tasted, a person can never forget it. Thousands of years ago, this is exactly how early humans first discovered one of the most dangerous yet sweetest food sources on Earth: honey. The question is, in an age with no writing, no accumulated knowledge, not even tools to overcome the fear of stings, how did humans figure out that inside that buzzing swarm of insects was something worth risking death to steal? Today, we casually put a spoonful of honey in our mouths without ever thinking about the thousands of years of observation, life-risking courage, and a thrilling story of survival behind this simple act. Let's dive into that history. Scientists believe humans first learned of honey's existence by observing the behavior of other animals. Bears, chimpanzees, baboons, and especially a particular bird, known as the honey guide, all showed a powerful attraction to beehives. This honey guide bird still maintains a strange cooperative relationship with certain indigenous communities in Africa today. The bird uses a special call to lead humans to a hive. The humans break it open and collect the honey, and the leftover wax and bee larvae are left behind for the bird. This relationship is so ancient that researchers believe it may have existed for thousands, possibly even hundreds of thousands of years. When early humans saw these animals willing to take such risks to break into hives, they naturally grew curious. The human brain has always been wired this way. If an animal is willing to suffer to get something, that something must be valuable. This very reasoning is likely what first drew humans toward beehives. But going from mere observation to actually eating honey wasn't simple. Bee stings are extremely painful, and hives were often located high in tree branches or tucked into rock crevices, places that were dangerous just to reach. So how did humans first get a taste of honey? Researchers believe several natural events played a role. First, wildfires. After a natural forest fire, melted honey would ooze out from burnt tree hollows onto the ground, and the heat would leave the bees dead or fled, making honey collection relatively safe under these conditions. Second, when storms broke trees or branches, hives would often fall to the ground, and humans foraging for food would accidentally come across the honey. Third, other animals, particularly bears or other large mammals, would break open hives and leave remnants behind, from which humans could also scavenge some honey. The first time some early human touched a finger to that golden, sticky liquid and tasted it, that moment must have become one of the most memorable experiences of their life. Because up until then, nature offered no food with such concentrated sweetness, not even close to the sweetness of wild fruit. And the human brain is innately drawn to high-calorie sweet foods, since from an evolutionary standpoint, this represents a safe and quick source of energy. Once that taste was discovered, humans could never forget it. The shift from accidentally finding honey to deliberately searching out hives happened gradually, over many generations of accumulated experience. Humans began to notice that bees always built their nests in certain kinds of places, in old tree hollows, in rock cracks, or on cave walls. They realized that by following the direction bees flew, they could locate a hive, a technique still used by traditional honey hunters today, known as beelining. One of the most important discoveries was the use of smoke. After early humans learned to control fire, they noticed that smoking a hive calmed the bees or drove them away. According to scientists, Smoke triggers a kind of defensive instinct in bees. They sense a wildfire nearby, and instead of attacking, they gorge themselves on honey in preparation to flee to safety, and with their stomachs full, their tendency to sting decreases. This simple but highly effective technique gave humans a way to approach hives safely. The most striking evidence of this ancient history of honey collection comes from cave paintings. In the famous Cuevas de la Araña, spider caves, in the Valencia region of Spain, there's a remarkable painting showing a person climbing a long vine or rope to reach a hive high above, collecting honey, surrounded by painted swarms of flying bees. This artwork is believed to date to the Mesolithic period, though the actual practice of honey collecting is likely far older. Similar cave paintings have been found across the African continent, leading researchers to believe the tradition of honey collecting may be at least 25 to 40,000 years old. Some researchers even believe that during the early stages of human evolution in Africa, when our ancestors hadn't yet fully become modern humans, they were already familiar with honey. By examining wax residue found in ancient pottery, scientists have confirmed that the widespread use of honey and wax was already well established in Neolithic agricultural societies. Interestingly, honey wasn't just a delicious food to early humans. It gradually became an important part of medicine, preservation, and even religious rituals in many cultures. Because of its natural antibacterial properties, honey was used to heal wounds, knowledge that modern medicine is now recognizing as well. Ancient Egyptians used honey in mummification and religious offerings, and used beeswax to waterproof various tools and containers. Seen this way, the discovery of honey isn't just a story about finding a delicious food. It's a living document of animal observation, the use of fire, the courage to take risks, and the transfer of knowledge across generations, all unfolding alongside the development of human civilization. It proves how human curiosity and the drive to survive could extract something precious even from nature's most inaccessible stores. The discovery of honey wasn't a single moment. It was a slow, continuous process spanning thousands of years, from observing animal behavior to accidentally tasting it, to inventing techniques, like smoke, to collect it deliberately. Each step was an extraordinary example of human intelligence and adaptability. Today, when we casually pick up a bottle of honey from a store, we may forget the courage of our earliest ancestors hidden behind it, those who conquered their fear of the sting and added nature's very first sweet gift to the human diet.